was it impressive? He was just in junior hockey last year, and now he's in the Western Conference Final and seems to be handling everything very well.
Yeah, crazy impressive. Both those kids. Like I said, I think this is my 16th year in the league, and I don't remember one young guy that age making the impact both these guys have made at this time of year. And I'm stressing this time of year. It's one thing to jump into the regular season with 32 teams and the level of play, but you're jumping into some rare air here. These are the best teams left standing. There's no room, there's no time, there's no weaknesses, really in any of these groups that are left. And I would put Vegas and Colorado in that category too, the two teams we just went through. And both kids have been, effective every night. And not just on the scoreboard, all kinds of detail and defensive conscience to their game. They just play the right way.
Third row on the right, Eric.
Did it take you a lot of years in this league to understand the importance of being calm in the face of adversity, or does it take a special group like this one for you to be able to be calm in the face of adversity?
I think it's a good question. I think it's a little bit of both. I think for sure experience teaches you that, and there's no doubt about that. And also your leadership group, really, allows you to do that if you've got a good group, because that's being handled. The right messaging is being done, and it's being done by the important guys in the room, the more important guys than even the coach. And so that allows you to do that.
Back right.
Hey, Pete, just a question about Jake Ottinger and his ability, no matter the score or situation, to find a way to reset and be able to get to his best hockey to help the team find their footing and get to their best hockey.
Yeah, really unflappable. And that's really been, probably the most impressive part for me has been his response at key times, last year's playoffs, this year's playoffs, either to our team being off for a night or, him being a little bit off. The response has always been immediate, and it's always been world class. And I think, for me, that's a sign of greatness at that position, because the guys that allow, one bad game to bleed into multiple bad games, you're sitting at home this time of year if that happens.
Second row on the left, Leah.
Hey, Pete. I believe both Sam Steele and Alexander Petrovic are from right around this area. What is that moment like when a player, especially in the playoffs, gets to come home and play in front of their home crowd?
Well, it's really special. And, I think, especially for Petrovic, and I'm not going to say it's less special for Sam Steele. I think it's really special for Sam. And he deserves it. He's had a great year for us. But for Petrovic, who, probably didn't see this coming, had spent the entire year in the American League, has been a veteran guy that probably thought that his window had closed. And all of a sudden you're playing in the conference finals and you're playing in your hometown. I don't think it gets better than that. And he's at a point in his career where I'm sure he appreciates it a lot more than when he was 22 or 23.
Third row on the left, Mark.
Pete, you mentioned 16 years in the league. You've had a lot of jobs. How do you evolve as a coach from job to job, from job to job?
Well, there's always things you learn. Both about the groups you're coaching with, but I think also the coaches that you coach with on the different stops. I was very fortunate in Florida when I came into the league. There was a veteran, Mike Kitchen, that was a holdover from the previous staff that was invaluable for me coming in. And then my second job, I inherited Larry Robinson and Adam Oates, who Lou had kept, you know, and on and on. I mean, you know, I think every staff you work with, you get better as a coach, you know, being around people like that. And, you know, I've got a long list of guys I've worked with, and that doesn't even include the Hockey Canada experiences, World Championships, you know, working with Ken Hitchcock and Dave Tippett and Craig McTavish, you know, so just, I think that's probably the biggest thing is being around different people, different ideas, and taking the things that you like and making them your own.
Fourth row on the right, Elliot.
Yeah,
Hey, Peter, just a little bit more on Ottinger. Did you ever worry about him this year? And what point in the season did you say he's back what we expect?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be lying to you if I said there wasn't some concern at one point in the year. I'm trying to remember when. You know, he had got himself in a little bit of a funk, and he's such a mature, unflappable kid. You know, you saw a little bit of vulnerability, not much, but a little bit. But I always took comfort in knowing, you know, that he had a foundation there that he could rely on, that his character is second to none, his leadership second to none, that he was gonna get back there. But, you know, I think in his words, it was probably the toughest point in his career at one point this year, you know, battling through some things. So, you know, but full marks, he never changed his attitude and kept working. And, you know, there was always an inner confidence within him, despite being a little vulnerable, that he would get it back. And, you know, that gave me comfort.
Second row on the right, Andrew.
Peter Vander Kane was asked earlier about kind of the lack of scrums in this series, and he said that was a strategy of lulling that you and your team would do, both to avoid penalties and keep the temperature a little low. Just wonder your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're not playing any different than we have all year, and the standard of the refereeing is the same as we've had all year. You know, we're the least or second least penalized team over an 82-game schedule with 32 teams in the league, and the least penalized in the playoffs. So, you know, that's not our game. We play hard, we play heavy, we defend hard, but we play whistle to whistle, and, you know, that's what we're continuing to do.
We'll take two more. Center left, Sean.
Sean.
Hey, Pete. Given your team going to the Western Conference Final last year and your first year with them and coming back here now, I wonder if there's growth that stands out to you between that point last year and now.
For sure there's growth. I mean, we're a better team than we were last year in the Western Conference Final. We're a deeper team, you know, and that's Jim Nill going out in the summer and signing depth and going at the trade deadline and adding guys. You know, so I think I mentioned this in the Vegas series. I felt last year in the Western Conference Finals, when we got to this point, we were kind of hoping that everything lined up and we could win. You know, I feel like this year we feel like we should win.
Last one, Leah.
Hey, Pete. Yesterday, Jason Robertson said that third goal that he scored was something he learned from Jeff Reese.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get your thoughts on your goalie coach teaching your goal scorers some things.
Yeah, Reeser does a lot of work behind the scenes with those guys, you know, just on tendencies and scouting reports and things. And you know, Robo, Matt Duchesne in particular are two guys that spend a lot of time, you know, kind of looking at those reports and spending time with Jeff. So, yeah, those they talk the same language, you know, and I think Robo's a very analytical player, you know, as far as his scoring goes, and he sees the game differently than most people, including myself. So it's been a good match.
Thanks a lot, Pete.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Logan, you got to live at home for most of your junior career. What's this year been like, living out on, you know, in Austin first, and then right now with Wyatt and the Pavelskis? What's that like, and who's the better driver?
It's been a big change. think I've grown up a lot this year. Like you said, being able to live at home, it's a lot different. Home cooked meals, sleeping in your own bed, and a lot of stuff's done for you. So this year I was kind of on my own, had to find my own apartment down in Austin and cook my own meals and, figure out my time management skills too. So it was all part of it, but, I think it's made me a better person.
I'm the better driver too.
We'll go second row right to Ryan.
Wyatt, your team has really flipped a switch in the second period the last couple of games. What's it like? What do you notice when you guys go from on your heels to all of a sudden dictating the way you are? What's it like to be part of that, and what do you notice in your game?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we have that, the patience, the confidence. Definitely haven't started, like we want to, but yeah, I mean, it's, I think we've done a really good job all year, and especially in these playoffs if we don't have a great period, we kind of, take that intermission and kind of regain our thoughts and kind of settle down a bit and make sure we're coming out strong in the next period. Responses are so important in playoffs, and we're just, I think, our experience and, all the guys who've played so many games kind of helps bring that, patience to, just get back to our game.
Third row on the left, Mark.
Wyatt, I know there haven't been a lot of penalties to kill in this series, but you guys have done a really good job doing that. What are you seeing from ice level that's working so well for you?
Obviously you try to get to learn their tendencies, but, with a team like the Oilers, with all the, great players they have on their power play, it's, you just gotta, be able to have good reads, react. They're gonna make plays, and it just kind of comes down to, blocking shots. Jakey's made some great saves. Just kind of those kind of intangibles in playoffs that kind of help you kill some big penalties. Just having those details and block shot or a huge save when needed.
Fourth row on the left, Josh.
Wyatt, you've been teammates with Jake for a couple of years now. I'm just wondering what stands out to you about his ability to reset and refocus. All the things bother him. It was a tough first 8 minutes. I don't know if those goals weren't his fault, but still, it's 2-0 in a loud building, and then he just doesn't let in the next one. What stands out about his demeanor and how he goes about his business?
It's a lot of, it's awesome to be playing in front of him. His response has always been so good. We did not put him in a very good spot to start that game, and it could have been a lot worse for us if he didn't, make some huge saves. So, it's our job to try to, play our best in front of him. But he's covered up a lot of our mistakes, and he's just, such a calming presence, and it gives us a lot of confidence having him back there. And he's, he lets in one or two, and the game can get away from us pretty easily. But he stays strong, and he makes some huge saves to keep us in a game, and then we're kind of able to kind of find our game back again once the second period starts.
Back row on the left.
Hey Wyatt, can you bring us inside the room during that first intermission last night? What was said, who's saying the message, and how much do you think that impacted the comeback?
Obviously, the leadership guys like Jamie Benn, Joe Pavelski, just kind of the older guys that, have been around. We all knew it wasn't a good period for us, and, they definitely, felt like they were the hungry team. It definitely, I'm sure it looked like that. It was just, win battles and win races. That's so important this time of the year. You can have all those X's and O's, and none of that really matters if you're not, winning puck battles, getting pucks back. So, I think, the leadership guys in the room, and then obviously, the coaching staff, Pete, that was a, big message from him.
Back right, David.
Hey guys, it could be for either of you. You guys were down 2 games to love. You go into Vegas, take those next 2 games. Colorado, you sweep all 3 games in a tough building there. It was super loud in the first period here last night. How has this team been able to just collect itself and be so calm and, able to really play your best hockey on the road so far this postseason for either of you guys?
I think it just goes back to the leadership group. A lot of older guys in the team that have played in big games over their careers, and there just seems to be no panic in the room, no matter the score or how many games we're down in the series. I think everyone kind of looks to those guys, and when they're speaking, we listen, and make sure that we stick together.
Take a couple more. Second row left, Leah.
For either of you guys, you've got some teammates who have played in 100 of these games before, but both of you first and second year, are you able to enjoy this experience playing in a building like this, realizing, you're in the Western Conference Finals, or is it hard to do that in this time of year?
I think a little bit of both. You want to make sure you're focused on the game and making sure you're in a good spot to put your best game forward. But I mean, it's hard not to just kind of soak it all in a little bit. Especially maybe during the anthem and stuff like that, and you're just kind of listening to the building sing the Canadian anthem, and I mean it's pretty cool. It's I know it's what pretty much all of us dream of growing up, is playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I mean it's try your best to soak it all in as much as you can, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're dialed in and not not letting kind of all the distractions get to you.
Last one, third row on the right, Eric.
Logan, you joined the team later in the season. Were you at all surprised by just how calm and composed this team always seems to be, no matter how much adversity you're facing in a game or in any series?
Yeah, it's a good thing to have for sure. I've been able to learn lots from those guys and just see what makes them such good players, and I think it's nice just to have those guys to look up to and kind of lead the way for us. So yeah, it's not easy kind of coming up later in the year, and I just wanted to try and do my thing and fit in, and those guys have made me really feel a part of the team.